大家好，我是 Martin, and this is Short Stories, brought to you by the Taichung Keda Language Center. Today we are going to read a story written by one of America's most talented poets and most famous weirdos, Edgar Allan Poe. We are going to read The Telltale Heart, which is perhaps one of his most famous works. The Telltale Heart is a story about murder and guilt and insanity, which is pretty typical for an Edgar Allan Poe story. Well, before I begin that, let me first start with the vocabulary and vocabulary example sentences. Then I will read today's very creepy and disturbing story to you, and after that is finished, I will read the listening comprehension questions to see if you understood what it was all about. Are you ready? Let's start. Vocabulary. Mad. Mad. My old neighbor is kind of mad, but he doesn't bother anyone. Chill. Chill. I chilled the vegetables in the refrigerator before putting them in a salad. Midnight. Midnight. Amy stayed up until midnight watching her favorite TV show. Shine. Shine. The sun shone brightly on the day we went to the beach. Lantern. Lantern. There are many large red lanterns hanging outside the temple. Beam. Beam. A beam of light came through the window and onto my face when the sun came up. Mind. Mind. We must care for our minds just as much as we care for our bodies. Still. Still. The tiger stood still and hid in the tall grass as it watched the deer. Sense. Sense. Dogs can sense an earthquake before humans can, and will bark when they feel one. Dull. Dull. The suitcase made a dull sound when I dropped it on the ground after a long trip. Leap. Leap. Frogs don't walk. Instead, they leap to get around. Scream. Scream. Olive let out a scream while watching the scary movie alone. Accomplish. Accomplish. The tennis player accomplished his goal by becoming the best in the world. Assure. Assure. Kevin assured me that he will always be there when I need help. Steady. Steady. The machines in the factory make a steady noise all day long. Bear. Bear. I can't bear to see or hear a dog in pain. It's too awful. Admit. Admit. Susan admitted to her parents that she lied about doing her homework. Okay, the vocabulary is finished. Now I'm going to read the story. But let me first explain something about how the story is written. It is written using the first person narrative. That means the narrator, the person reading the story to you, the audience. That's not me, it's the point of view of the character in the book. So the story is being told by the character in the book. So we call that first person narrative. So it is going to be told from the point of view of the speaker or the narrator. Okay, are you ready? Let's begin. I may seem nervous, but I am far from mad. Let me tell you how clear-headed I was the whole week before I killed the old man. I did not hate him, for he was good to me. I showed him much kindness, as it was not him that I hated, it was his eye. He had a pale blue eye, like that of a vulture. The sight of it chilled my veins and froze my blood. It took a while to realize what I had to do. Eventually, I made up my mind. I had to end the man's life to rid myself of the eye forever. By now you may think of me as madder than before, but listen and hear how wisely I proceeded. With great caution, I entered the old man's room each midnight. As he slept, I would shine a ray of light from my lantern. I carefully directed the beam toward his eye. For 7 nights the eye was shut, hidden from my sight. On the 8th night, I knew I would not be defeated. My mind was sharp. I once more entered the old man's pitch-black room. Perhaps I made a sound which woke him. He sat up and cried out, "Who's there?" For an hour I remained still as a stone statue. Could a madman have done this? I didn't move a muscle, but my mind was racing with anticipation. I could sense the old man's fear, and it nearly made me let out a laugh. Ha! When he returned to sleep, I raised my lantern and illuminated his evil eye. It was open, staring at me. I could hear a dull ticking, like a clock wrapped in cloth. It was the old man's heart. I worried that the neighbors would hear this growing noise. How awful it was! I leaped toward the man and dragged him down to the floor, then flipped the bed onto him. He let out only one short scream. The eye would trouble me no more. You can't think I am mad when you learn how cleverly I acted next. I hid the corpse under the floorboards. There were no bloodstains, nothing out of place. Could a crazy man accomplish such a task? I was very confident when 3 policemen arrived at 4 a.m. I assured them that I had screamed in my sleep, and that was what the neighbors had heard. The old man was away traveling abroad. I even offered the men seats to rest their legs. A sound began to distract me as I talked with the men, though they hadn't noticed it yet. It excited me and caused me to speak faster and louder. I waved my arms as if to brush away this noise that bothered my thoughts. It was a steady drumming, like a clock wrapped in cloth. Louder and louder it grew, driving me mad. They heard, but they enjoyed watching me suffer. Unable to bear it any more, I screamed, "Villains! I admit the deed! Tear up the floor! Here, here! It is the beating of his heart!" Wow, that is an exciting and scary story. Whoa! Makes me feel creepy, doesn't it? Well, that's exactly the kind of story that Edgar Allan Poe is famous for. Okay, let's start with the first question for the reading comprehension. Are you ready? Question 1. Why did the narrator kill the old man? A. Because of the old man's eye. B. Because the old man was cruel. C. Because he was jealous of the old man. D. Because the old man stole his money. The answer is A. The old man had a creepy blue eye that he thought was evil. Question 2. What did the speaker do after he killed the old man? A. He chopped up the body. B. He threw the body away. C. He hid the body under the floorboards. D. He went straight to the police. The answer is C. He hid the body under the floorboards. Question 3. Why did the narrator confess to murdering the old man? A. He could still see the old man's eye. B. He could still hear the old man's heart. C. He wanted to brag about his crime. D. The police caught him. Well, if you listen to him speaking, it does sound like he's bragging about how he killed that old man and how smart he is. But the real answer is B. He could still hear the old man's heart. Question 4. What does driving me mad mean? A. Making me crazy. B. Making me lazy. C. Making me angry. D. You are a bad driver. The answer is A. Making me crazy. In Edgar Allan Poe stories, the word mad is often used to mean crazy. Okay, well that's it. I hope you got all 4 of them correct. And I hope that no one is driving you mad. And if someone is driving you mad, don't murder them. That's bad. Okay, thank you and have a good week. Bye-bye.